think, first of all, that Tomi is way too kind to the Freedom Convoy, so-called. One man's freedom is another man's oppression. Their behavior has been nothing short of thuggish. In Ottawa, they've kept people in the neighborhood awake all night, revving their engines, blowing their horns. They've deprived Ottawa businesses of tens of millions of dollars. Now they're blockading the international bridges. They are laying off people, cutting their shifts short in automotive assembly plants because they can't get the parts from Canada to the United States. They used their crowbars to threaten cops who were going to tow their trucks away that were blocking. They've told tow truck drivers that they'll remember them when this is all over. A clear intimidation tactic. To give them the mantle of freedom fighters is absolutely appallingly naive. I've spoken to my friends in Canada. They verify what I've said. New York Times is just reporting this 30 minutes ago. The Globe and Mail, the Toronto paper, this is for real. And now that it's spreading to other far-right groups in other countries and even to this country. I think, Martha, I understand the frustration about masks and all the rest of it, but to give these folks a pass is I think, very destructive, Martha.
Tomi?
Listen, the demonization of the working class, the blue-collar folks that keep Canada and keep the United States and keep the world running has to end. And this is part of the frustration. These are truckers out there that are standing for their rights and their freedoms. Are there a few bad apples in the group? I'm sure, as with any group. But I wonder what Geraldo would say to our founding fathers, those that fought for freedom and the inception of this nation, who stood up for their rights and their freedom. Would he call them thugs? Would he call them degenerates? That it would be my question, because these are folks out there fighting for their rights and their freedom. And thank goodness they're doing it. I hope that they remain peaceful. But if it comes to the United States, I will absolutely support it. This is what needs to be done to get the government elites and the unelected bureaucrats to pay attention to this issue. We've done this for 2 years now. The definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. People want normalcy, and they are demanding it.
You know, Geraldo, I want to give you a chance to respond, but I just want to put this up. This is from Alex Villanueva, the LA County Sheriff, talking about essential workers. Now, these are truckers. He's also talking about essential workers in law enforcement. But I think in some ways it applies to anybody who has sort of been on the front lines, as these truck drivers have, since the very beginning. Watch this.
I think it's morally repulsive to think that the same people that had to be forced into homes, into businesses, and expose themselves to the virus when there was no vaccine are the same people they want to fire today while they were at home in the safety and comfort of their home, doing everything via Zoom and WebEx, so they didn't have to stick their neck out there.
Geraldo?
We are all frustrated, Martha and Tomi. We are all can't wait until this onerous this policy is all behind us. We want this behind us. It's been 2 years. I get that. But when you have protesters bringing Confederate flags and swastikas, and then to paint them in the same portrait as you name our founding fathers, I mean, what the hell is that about? This is very destructive. They have 40% of Canada's trade goes over the Ambassador Bridge that they have blocked. What about the working people, the hard-working people who've gone to work during this pandemic, now can't get to work or can't work because there's no parts in their factory to work with? I think that it's selfish, and it is excessive, and it is a national security problem for Canada, and I hope they don't import it or export it, rather, here.
Tomi?
Listen, if you consider people honking their horns and making a convoy to stand up for their rights to be thuggish, well, then we have to have a broader discussion about that. Like I said, I'm sure there are bad apples in the group, but to classify all of these thousands of truckers that are simply standing up for their rights and really the rights of everybody.
The truckers union does not support them.
For everyone.
The truckers union doesn't support them. The trucking companies don't support them.
There are a lot of people that are intimidated into silence, a lot of people that go along to get along. And these truckers are saying, we are those essential workers. We worked before there were vaccines to mandate, and now you're trying to infringe upon our rights and freedom.
90% of these truckers are vaccinated. 90% of these truckers are already vaccinated.
That's right. They don't want to have to quarantine when they go on either side of the border. They want to be able to continue to pursue their livelihood and do it as they see fit. Yes, 90% of them, as you heard from those truckers who were interviewed, they said, I'm vaccinated. Most of us are vaccinated. So just let us do our jobs and get out of our way. So thank you both. Good points on both sides. Go today, Geraldo and Tomi. Much.
Thank you.
So politicians